Hey all, and this is the Clash of the Shards event. This is an Earth Commander event and Arcane Killer. I made up a few teams out of older cards. The one you can see on the screen is actually really effective. Originally I was going to make some sort of team based around the Jailers, but out of older cards it's not doing the damage I really want it to do, unfortunately. So this is by far the best team I can make up for the bosses. And then if we scroll over here, I have a Crusade team as well. And another bosses team. This is for the guild bosses, as they have Power Gem Silence on them this time around. So here we go with the team. So cards from the Brothers in Banditry event are pretty useful, as mainly because they have this 300% increased damage buff on them, so any team that boosts up these cards always going to work pretty well. Again, Robin of Furwood has the same skill. The other card from this deck, though, does not, so that's why I don't have it on the team. But these are the main damage dealers for this team. The Jailers you need for the killer skill. At one point, this card was amazing, but the boost doesn't seem as effective as it used to be, so a team based around the Jailers is only really going to be effective if you have the event deck, unfortunately. Now, the Awakened Dream Guardian actually boosts up the damage of the other cards, even though it says the damage is only for beast killers, so putting that on the team with the Visions of the Void allows the two main cards to do significantly more damage, and that's where all the damage comes from with this deck. There we go. So yeah, if you're struggling, try something like this, and you may be surprised about how much damage this actually does. I know originally when I first saw this deck, I didn't think it would do much damage, and then I tried it out. I was like, 300 trillion? That's actually really good. Well, without event cards anyway. So for the Crusade, something like this will get you through it pretty quickly. It's just basically a bunch of older ultimate forms. Nothing especially exciting about this deck, but I'll go through the cards anyway. This card is always useful as it has a 1-turn cooldown on it. It also creates a lot of power gems and increases self-damage. This one's not bad. It doesn't actually directly create power gems. It has a passive skill that does that instead. Brothers in Banditry again, another good card. Visions of the Void. And the Jailers again. So that's just to get through the Crusade quickly. And then the final team is for the guild bosses. This is literally the only card, or Earth Commander card, should I say, that has a counter skill of Power Gem Silence. So I'm kind of forced to use that for the guild bosses. Unfortunately, the damage is significantly lower as I only have one card from the Visions of the Void deck now. But that's the best I could really make up for the guild bosses. So yeah, if you do have the event deck, try putting the Jailers on the team. Maybe also with Consecrated Wizardess and see what sort of damage you do. I can't test that out for myself as I don't have the event deck. So unfortunately I am kind of limited for gems again. I only have 300 left from the last event. I did actually get a couple of extra Master Dark Slayer heroes from the last event. I opened the vault after the event had finished. Unfortunately, I can't open the vault for this event, so let's get on with the event and I'll show you what my teams can do. Alright, so here we go with the Crusade. Let's continue from level 7, which is where I've got up to so far. So I'm pretty sure I can just take any Earth Commander card, or probably even an Earth Slayer card in all honesty, and beat the Crusade. Let's test that out by taking a card that's not really going to have any use. and see if I can still beat the Crusade. I'm pretty sure this team will get through it without any problems anyway. We will find out though. This could go horribly wrong. I could end up dying, but hopefully this will work. With any Earth Commander card, it has no problems getting through the Crusade. Anyway, here we go. If you are struggling with the Crusade, you can always consider trying a team that's a different colour. Some light or even fire teams would be able to get through this without too many problems. This might not be too bad actually with this light card, as it does spawn extra power gems. And they all get converted to earth with a bit of luck. Also has some healing as well, so yeah, not too bad. Using this card only for the normal waves is enough to normally get through them, as it has a 1-turn cooldown. That's pretty effective then. For any difficult bosses, just use all the cards. Yeah, the follow-up swoop is killing them, however, my health is getting a bit low. Don't forget that the Jailers does have a revive on it, so that may help a lot if you're struggling for teams with this event. Pretty sure I'll do it from here though. You see the damage on the middle card, 39.2 billion. That's more than enough to get through the boss. And there we go, I've managed to defeat the Corellium Crusade without even taking an Earth card as my ally. So, yeah, not too difficult with this team. But now I need to get a solo boss up and then show you what my team can do to that. So here we have a solo boss. This should hopefully be pretty easy with my boss's team. Let's give it a go though. So this actually does more damage than you might be expecting. It's kind of an interesting team. It's pretty effective actually. And by far the most effective non-event deck I can make up. So on turn 1, just match anything. And turn 2, go in for the kill. It only has counter attack on it, unlike the guild bosses that have power gem silence. So the solo bosses are relatively easy this time around. As long as you defeat them quickly, counter attack will not, hopefully, have too much of an effect. It doesn't really matter which order you use the cards in either. So there we go. 172 trillion on the central card, and that's more than enough to get the 100% overkill. Takes care of the solo boss nice and easily. So I'm going to do one more Crusade just to show you what sort of effect the current ultimate form from this deck actually does. There we go, I'll go and grab that card and go into Crusade again. The main feature of this deck is that it gives a damage bonus to all Earth Commander cards. I'll show you that on the battle skill when it loads. That in itself means you can do some really big damage numbers with the deck and mixed with some other cards. As you can see there, 80% increase to Earth Commander damage, so using that, and let's use this card as well, you should see a rather nice amount of damage even just using the 2 cards, and that should easily defeat the Crusade boss there. There we go. There's a 3-turn cooldown though, so bear that in mind. However, if you want to mix in with something like the Jailers, I can see you doing a lot of damage. Go ahead and finish this Crusade, it shouldn't take long. But yeah, this is actually looking like a pretty powerful event deck. I've seen damage values around 3 to 4 Q, so if used correctly, you can take out a Corellium guild boss in one turn. Yeah, that also avoids that nasty power gem silence if you do that, which is always good. Let's see what the damage is if I use all the cards on the final wave. This should be really good now. The boss doesn't have a chance. Yeah, that's definitely going to defeat it. Wow, that really is some nice damage there. Crikey. But there we go, that's the effectiveness of adding ultimate form from the current event to your deck. Has a very nice boost to commander damage, and I also have another solo boss up, which I'm going to defeat in a minute. Alright, so moving on to guild bosses, I'm going to give this diamond a go. I tried it with another team earlier on and didn't really do any damage to it. Mainly because I got hit by power gem silence. So it's really, really important you have a power gem silence counter card on the team. The support card will do that job, so let's try this team and see what sort of damage it does to the guild boss. I think I'll be able to take it down, but we will find out as I battle it. It's the same as my solo boss team, just with one card swapped out for the support card. Traitor might be a slight problem as well, as it would take more than one attack, I would have thought, to defeat this. We will see though, you never know. Yes, the power gem silence has been dispelled. I'm not going to use the support card there, as it will make all the gems crush. Don't really want that to happen. It's not bad, but you can see the damage has been reduced by a rather large amount compared to what I was using on the solo bosses. I think this is good enough to defeat a diamond though. The problem is Traitor. I've got to kill it quick, otherwise Traitor is going to kill me unfortunately, but sure I can do it. I don't think I even really need the jailers here. Or jailer's skill, should I say. Let's just try it without. Yeah, that's killed it. There we go. So, yeah, that does work on guild bosses. However, it's not especially effective. And ideally, you would want the event deck for the guild bosses. Unless no one in your guild has the event deck, in which case you're going to need to improvise like I have. Alright, so now moving on to the event rewards. I am in Legends again. I managed to stay in Legends last event, but only just about. The collection this time around is really good. You will see why. It's the first time I think I've ever seen a free GVG relic offered. Right at the bottom, a 3-star Earth GVG relic. There's also a bunch of runes as well, so let's go ahead and claim all of these. This is one of the best collections I think I've ever seen. That is very, very welcomed. GVG relics are notoriously hard to get. So now a free player can finally get one without that many problems. So yeah, make sure you complete this collection, basically, is what I'm saying. And then if we go back, I'm not sure what it is this time around. Gonna have a look. I'm pretty sure it's a Warden, as last time it was a Dragoon. Yeah, there it is. Right, what do we got? Lunar Data Witch. So Power Gem Silence as the defender skill. Yeah, it's okay, not as good as Gem Silence. Pretty easy to remove with the amount of cards there are nowadays. As always, the stats are reasonably decent. There's one to consider using if you have a water defense, maybe. There are better cards or better defender skills, but it's not bad. It's alright. So you have to decide for yourself if you want to use that card or not. So finally, let's have a proper look at the actual event deck. Go on to here we go. So I could actually craft one of these cards, but I don't think I'm going to do so. Yeah, this is a pretty decent deck, but I already have quite a few decent Earth cards, and I really need to focus on other colours. I think since I've already got 2 cards, or should I say 2 master cards for the Dark Slayer deck from the previous event, I should really forge the other card for that. Either that, or I can take the water deck, the first event in this season, up to 2 pink stars. So I will need to decide for myself what to do there. This card creates power gems but doesn't have a boost, but it does have a permanent increase for Earth Commander damage. So that's quite interesting. And if we go on to the other card, I think the boost is better. Yeah, the damage boost on this card is now 80%, but it's only for 1 turn, rather than a permanent 50%. So, yeah, possibly the best deck would be 3 cards from this deck, then the Brothers in Banditry card, and then maybe the Jailers with that to try and boost up the Arcane Killer damage. Or possibly 4 event cards with the Jailers. That's quite tough to say as I don't have the deck, but I would probably use 2 copies of Starfall Hunter with the ultimate form, and then 1 copy of Nova with the Jailers as an optimal deck. And again, this has the skills of both. The permanent increase of 50% plus the boost of 80%. That's actually pretty big. This is why players are doing so much damage with the event deck, if used correctly. This is a very powerful deck. And if you're lacking Earth Commander cards, I would seriously consider going for this. And there we go, that about covers this video. I hope that was helpful. As always, if you do have any suggestions or questions regarding this, please let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to help. And thanks for watching.